Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
I'm Stephanie Lazarus. Before we head into your news in detail, here's a look at the headlines for tonight.
Group of UPFA MPs commenced protest in Parliament against summoning of former President by the Bribery Commission. Minor parties oppose SLFP proposal to change electoral system. I will not give Peacock Mansion in Rajagiriya or my party to the former President. A statement from the Labour Party leader. Severe weather advisory. Heavy showers expected in many parts of the island.
A group of UPFA MPs commenced a protest in Parliament today claiming that former President Mahinda Rajapaksa has been summoned by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. The MPs say that they will not abandon the protest until the summons is withdrawn.
Honourable MP Tissa Attanayaka has been summoned to appear within the next 2 days for accepting a ministerial position when he crossed over from the UNP to support the UPFA presidential candidate. Mahinda Rajapaksa has been summoned over giving him a ministerial position. We speak in Parliament and reach consensus in Parliament to give the due respect to all the citizens of this country. Thereby, Honourable Speaker, we call on you to intervene in this serious situation.
None of us know for what reason they have been summoned to the Bribery Commission. In the past, when 17 UMPs crossed over, they were given ministerial positions.
The Honourable Leader of the House gave a nonsensical response. They may know the reason, we are not babies here. The reason is that MP Tissa Attanayaka was given a ministerial position. If it is wrong to accept a ministry, then those who recently accepted ministerial positions and those who conferred it must also be summoned to the Bribery Commission. The Director General of the Bribery Commission is a close friend of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe's wife. She was appointed to that position for the sole purpose of exacting political vengeance. Stop exacting vengeance or we reiterate that you will not receive our cooperation.
I had no involvement whatsoever in the appointment of the Director General. The Justice Minister will confirm that it was discussed and a name that came to him was selected. She and those in the police have met with us from time to time. They do not have the numbers to carry out numerous investigations. They didn't have the resources. So we have given them all of this, including computers.
At no instance in the history of this country has the granting of a ministerial position been considered as an act of corruption. Does the Prime Minister exist to send us to court or to implement the law?
I did not say that former President was involved in this. The testimony given by former President may be even advantageous to Tissa Attanayaka. The problem here does not pertain to a member of this chamber. The former President is not a member of this chamber. We cannot come here and speak of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa or Chandrika Bandanayaka Kumaratunga. The place for him to go is not this chamber. If he has lawyers, he can go to the Supreme Court.
It was said that he is entitled to these privileges for as long as he is in office. Thereby, Honourable Speaker, an incumbent President will have this privilege, while a President who has lost his office will lose this privilege. Thereby, Honourable Speaker, an environment where the law is implemented equally to all citizens, be they the President, former President, Prime Minister or MPs, must be created.
The case was filed over the acquiring of land for a public purpose and then conferring it on a private party. The facts in that are totally different to the matter pertaining to granting MP Tissa Attanayaka a ministerial portfolio. That is the execution of power conferred on an executive president. It is not acting on a subject.
ජනාධිපතිවරයෙකුට තියෙන බලතල ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීම. විෂයක් සම්බන්ධයෙන් ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීමක් නෙවෙයි. ඔබතුමා කියන්නේ චන්ද්‍රිකා කුමාරතුංග.
You are saying that it is correct to bring former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga to the Bribery Commission.
අනුශාසනයේ දෙන්නෙක් ඉන්න එක්කෙනෙක් හොරෙක් අනිත් එක්කෙනා නැහැ.
මම හිතන්නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ മന്ത്രിවරුන්ගේ වරප්
I believe that the responsibility of safeguarding the privileges and rights of MPs is conferred on the Speaker, and therefore I will discuss this with the President, the Prime Minister and party leaders and reach a conclusion and a determination on how action is taken with regard to the MPs and inform this House. Until then, we will continue with the activities. Once I have spoken on it, you cannot bring it up again.
එකට ඇවිල්ලා මේ සභාවට දැනුම් දෙන්නම්. එතෙක් පිසරහට ඉතුරු කටයුතු කරගෙන යමු. දැන් මම කතා කරලා පස්සේ ඉතින් ඒ පිළිබඳව අපව කතා කරන්න බෑ. කල්තබීම සභාව කල්තබීම ගරු සභානායකතුමා
සභාව හෙට
හෙට
උදේ 9 මාට
හෙට උදේ 9:00ට නැවත සභාව රැස් වෙනවා.
අන්න හොරු අන්න අත තිබ්බා සිසවතන කල්තිබනේ
ඔව්
සිස්කුලේ ගිනේ
ගොඩාක් ඉන්න බෑ. දැන් සභාව කල්තබලා තියෙන්නේ ගරු සෙන්කෝලේ අරන් යන්නත් පුළුවන්.
While the House was adjourned and the mess was taken away, a group of opposition MPs did not leave the chamber. The MPs entered the well of Parliament and staged a sit-in protest. Dinesh Gunawardena, Kumar Ravelgama, Bandulu Gunawardena, Vimal Viravansa and others participated in this demonstration. The MPs noted that they would remain in the Parliament chamber until a written promise is given that former President Mahinda Rajapaksa will not be summoned by the Bribery Commission.
ඊට පෙර විවිධ ජනාධිපතිවරු විවිධ මන්ත්‍රීවරු
In the past, presidents and MPs from both the opposition and the government have been appointed as ministers. The Bribery and Corruption Commission has never interpreted this as an act of bribery, corruption or as an arbitrary action. It is evident to us, as the Prime Minister clearly accepted in Parliament today, that a close friend has been appointed as the Commissioner General of the Bribery and Corruption Commission and she is using arbitrary powers to act on a political agenda.
ඉතාම අත්නෝමතික බලයක් පාවිච්චි කරමින් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා.
If it is a bribe or corruption to give MP Tisathanayake the position of minister, then it is a larger bribe or act of corruption to give Ranil Wickremesinghe, who does not have a majority in Parliament, the position of Prime Minister as a bribe for securing the votes required to win. Isn't that the bigger bribe? If it is a bribe to confer a position like minister or prime minister, isn't this the largest bribe that has been given in the history of this country?
It is my belief that the Prime Minister and the UMP are involved in a conspiracy through this act where they have exceeded their power. It is a conspiracy to put His Excellency the President and the government in a difficult position. It is a belief. If the President is unaware of this, if the institution in question does not have the constitutional or legal power to do this, if the President is exercising the powers vested in him by the Constitution, then this is the conclusion we must reach. Thereby, we must make a request of His Excellency the President to be cautious of the conspirators. The people of this country see this as a hateful act.
Meanwhile, President Maithripala Sirisena arrived at the Parliament complex this afternoon. Our Parliament correspondent noted that the President had held talks with the Speaker.
The governing party says that the 19th Amendment to the Constitution will be taken up for debate tomorrow. The parliamentary proceedings were confined to 1 hour this morning, laying the groundwork for the debate tomorrow. Meanwhile, the SLFP further notes that discussions on making reforms to the electoral system as included in the 20th Amendment to the Constitution will be taken up for discussion.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party had made preparations to put forth 20 recommendations on a mixed electoral system, incorporating the first-past-the-post and proportional representation systems. The media spokesperson of the party, MP Dilan Pereira, said that the preferential voting system will be made void with the enactment of the new electoral system. Through the new electoral system, as a policy, we want to abolish the preferential voting system. We have recommended to vote 160 members to Parliament on an electorate basis and 65 through proportional representation. When voting under the proportional system, recommendations have been put forth to vote the MPs to Parliament at the electorate level and the national level. A recommendation has also been made to increase the number of MPs between 250 and 255. Representatives of minor parties opine that even though common consensus has been reached to change the electoral system, the proportional system should continue to be followed. The meeting saw the participation of representatives of a number of parties, including the JVP, the JHU and the TNA. The meagre 5% representation for minor parties has an impact on us and other parties, including the JVP. We opine that amendments should be made to the electoral system without the change in composition between the representatives of the main parties and minor parties. The proportional system is a more democratic system. We are not at crossroads to abolish the electoral system. Do not introduce just another electoral system before a snap election. When the district system is introduced, the district becomes an electorate. Therefore, only the wealthy could contest an election then. We are planning on putting forth a few proposals of our recommendations to the government by appointing a committee with the ones who are gathered here. We request them to halt the pending electoral reform. The recommended amendment to the electoral system that has been formulated hastily by the SLFP has been rejected. We are signalling the government and the opposition to not take this forward. We have decided to take the opinions of the minority groups into consideration and to work on it thereafter. Proportional voting system remains the only thing that is right. We all agreed on not bringing any recommendations that could reduce its powers. This cannot be done based on the personal needs of some parties within the government, those in the opposition or certain ministers and MPs. In the meantime, a group of representatives of political parties held discussions regarding the electoral reforms. The Elections Commissioner as well as the Prime Minister and the President may take certain decisions within the coming hours on this matter. These discussions will show that the 20th Amendment to the Constitution as tabled by the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the demarcation of boundary lines for electorates will take time. This cannot be done within 3 or 6 months as they say. Therefore, we are looking to see if there is an alternative in the meantime. What we are saying is that a golden opportunity has dawned in Parliament to amend the electoral system as well as curtail the executive powers. What Ranil Wickremesinghe could not achieve, the SLFP will now achieve. Therefore, it does not matter if a few more days pass without rushing into things. The SLFP is of the view that these two changes must be made. If that is the case, then both these matters can be addressed at once.
We now cross over again to Ramesh Irugal Bandara to give us the latest on what's happening in Parliament. Ramesh?
A very good evening, guys. Well, I'm joining you from the parliamentary complex here in Kotte, where for the first time in Sri Lankan history, a group of opposition parliamentarians are staging a protest inside the parliamentary chambers, an overnight protest inside the parliamentary chambers. This is the first time in Sri Lankan parliamentary history that such a protest is happening. Parliamentarian Rohit Abegunwadana, speaking to us a short while ago, stated that there are around 70 members of parliament currently in parliament staging this protest, and we saw a majority of them having their dinner just a short while ago. Now, dinner was of course provided by the parliamentary staff in accordance with parliamentary privileges for parliamentarians. We spoke to a majority of them and they stated that they will continue this protest until tomorrow morning, and they will continue it further until they receive a definite answer for their issue. We also spoke with Deputy Speaker Chandu Veerakkodi a short while ago, and he stated that there are medical staff on standby at the parliamentary complex in case they are needed. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Bandara from the Parliamentary Complex.
Well, thank you, Ramesh, for that comprehensive update. Meanwhile, Venerable Madhuluave Sobitha Theva requests all parties to work towards passing the 19th Amendment to the Constitution.
A group comprising of religious leaders and civil activists gathered opposite Fort Railway Station requesting the passage of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. Wouldn't you like an independent executive body for this country? Wouldn't you like an independent police? Wouldn't you all like a fair electoral system? Wouldn't you like a developed country free of crime and corruption? Would you like a democratic electoral system? That is why it does not matter what party, ethnicity or religion you are from. This would be for the victory of the people, so please do not miss this chance. We request all MPs to please use their vote to pass the bill for the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. Let us re-establish democracy. We invite you all to be shareholders in this and listen to the voice of the people.
Leader of the Sri Lanka Labour Party, ASP Liyanage, says that he will not hand over the Peacock Mansion located in Rajagiriya to former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. ASP Liyanage, speaking to the media after being summoned to the Colombo Crimes Division today, said that he had made this decision considering the current circumstances he's in.
According to the police media spokesperson, leader of the Sri Lanka Labour Party, ASP Liyanage, handed over a letter with regard to the Peacock Mansion in Rajagiriya to the Colombo Crimes Division this evening. The police media spokesperson added that according to the letter, there was no truth to the rumours that were circulating on the sale of the mansion. He added that the Colombo Crimes Division did not summon ASP Liyanage to appear before the commission.
අපි මේ විමර්ශනයක් සඳහා ආවා. ඉතින් ඇත්තටම ඒ විමර්ශනයට අදාළ ලිපිය මා බාර දුන්නා. මා හිතන්නේ විමර්ශන කටයුතු ඉදිරියට යන හින්දා දැන් වැඩිදුරට ඒ ගැන කතා කරන්න අමාරුයි. ඇත්තටම කොහොමද මම ව්‍යාපාරිකයෙක් හැටියට ඔබතුමා දන්නවා මම පරිස්සමෙන් ජීවත් වෙන්න ඕනේ. අනිත් එක මේ රටේ තියෙන වාතාවරණයත් එක්ක මම මගේ ව්‍යාපාරයත් නිරවුල්ව කරගෙන යන්නට ඕනේ. දැන් නම් ඒ මොකුත් කරන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් මම බය වෙලා ඉන්නේ. නෑ නෑ රජයේ එක්ක එහෙම කිසි රජයේ එක්ක මම රජයට පක්ෂපාතී. මම රජයේ එක්ක කිසිම ගැටීමක් නැහැ. ඒ වගේම හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමාණත් මම ඒ විදිහටම ගෞරවය කරනවා.
Meanwhile, coordinating secretary to the former president, Rohan Valivita, noted that Mahinda Rajapaksa did not make any announcement that he had accepted ASP Liyanage's house. He also charged that such rumours were spread for ASP Liyanage's personal benefit. Rohan Valivita also pointed out that the former president has no intention to live or purchase Peacock Mansion.
Court has permitted the CID to investigate bank accounts at 80 financial institutions that are held by the former president's chief of staff Gamini Senrath and 9 other members of his family.
The Colombo Chief Magistrate Giham Pilipitiya permitted this following an appeal made by the Financial Investigations Unit of the CID. The officials of the Special Unit of the Financial Division of the CID requested for permission to investigate the bank accounts of Gamini Senrath and family, as they have received various complaints that state that they have allegedly obtained various assets illegally.
The Met Department is forecasting thunder showers in coastal areas of the western and southern provinces in the next 24 hours. The general public are requested to take adequate precautions to prevent lightning-related accidents. Meanwhile, 12 people have been evacuated from 3 homes in Haldumulla area in Haputale due to the persisting risk of landslides.
A major landslide took a 5-acre large rubber cultivation with it in the Nikapota area in Haldumulla following heavy showers in the area. While no casualties were reported, the National Building Research Organisation had deployed a team to the area to conduct research and evaluate the risk.
If the rain continues, the situation will aggravate. Area residents, together with officials, were able to divert the gushing waters to other directions as a temporary solution.
2 people were injured when a wall collapsed onto a home in Udakapugedra Udagama in Ulapane. Our reporter says a 49-year-old woman and 6-year-old boy who were injured in the incident have been admitted to the Gampala Teaching Hospital.
These have been built illegally. We told them not to do any constructions at the location. However, they used their influence and commenced constructions. We request the necessary officials to provide us a solution to this issue. We will not have a place to stay if the rain continues.
About 20 homes were inundated in the Buttala area when the Kuda Oya and the Horaboka River broke their banks. Pradip Kodipilla, the Assistant Director of the Disaster Management Centre, says the residents have been evacuated. The DMC notes that the flood waters are receding.
The post-mortem examination into the body that was discovered at a storage facility in a leading school in Colombo 4 was carried out today. The police stated that extensive investigations are being conducted with the use of the information that was gathered from a phone records and other evidence that has been collected. Chaturanga Hapwarachi reports.
The victim was a 44-year-old mother of 2 who was a janitor of the said school. The relatives had gone looking for the victim as she was missing after she left to work on Saturday morning. The body was found last evening. The police stated that there were bruises on her face when the body was found. The relatives state that the deceased had worked in the school for over 14 years and had handed over the letter of resignation with plans to go abroad. The school had, however, asked her to work until they find a replacement for her.
This is the house of A.S. Chandrika. Now, A.S. Chandrika has left to work on Saturday around 7 a.m. She has called her daughter at 10:30 in the morning. However, her daughter has called her back at 11:30 and she has not answered her phone. Now, the family members believe that some kind of incident has taken place between 10:30 and 11:30. The family members also raised questions as to how the room in which A.S. Chandrika's body was found was locked from outside. The answers to these questions still remain a mystery. When we were looking for the key, it was in the room the bag was in. We opened the door. We went inside while we were ringing her phone. We opened the room that was inside, and that is when we saw. There were signs that she had been hit with a chair. She had been stripped.
She called me in the morning to inquire into whether I ate. She told me that there was 100 rupees. When I called her to say that the 100 rupees was missing, she didn't answer. She didn't answer till 11:45 in the night. My mother brings something when she comes home usually.
Meanwhile, investigations continued for the second day today at the premises with the use of the police K9 unit.
Meanwhile, General Manager of Catholic Schools, Reverend Father Ranjit Madhuravalu, says that the security of Catholic schools will be ensured.
One of the female minor employees of the college had reported to work on 18th April. On the following day, family members complained that she did not return home. Therefore, when we tried to find out what happened, we found her dead body in one place of the school, and it's clear that it's a murder. So we promptly informed the legal authorities and started inquiries. We give our full cooperation to find out the truth, and we will conduct an inquiry at departmental level, and we will ensure the security of the school.
Up next is Crime Watch.
A mother and daughter were brutally murdered in using a sharp weapon in the northern Akramale area in Dansindavatta in Pudaluya, Nurelia. According to Pudaluya police, the murder occurred at 3 this morning. Police suspect that the double murder was carried out by the son of the victim. They added that he had fled the area. Meanwhile, a 19-year-old girl died after a fire erupted in a commercial area in Ehelagoda area in the 4th mile post Sigiriya. The deceased was a resident of the area and the fire erupted at the back of her father's business establishment. The body is currently lying at the Mathare General Hospital.
It was when I came to the front from the kitchen to answer the call that I saw a large blaze. I did not know what to do from there. I called out my neighbors to douse the fire. They doused the fire. I only saw the blaze from the inside. 135 RDA employees who were to return to work as per orders issued by the President had instead returned home today.
This group of employees who ended their satyagraha following a promise made by the President prepared milk rice this morning, portraying their enthusiasm to return to work. The group met with the Secretary of the Ministry of Highways and Investment Promotion. They noted that the very officials who were responsible for their unemployment for a period of 45 days once again left them destitute.
As per orders issued by the President, we went to meet the Secretary of the Ministry. After we met him, he told us that he did not get a written order. He told us that they can re-employ us after the Cabinet has given us approval. That is why we have decided to wait here till Wednesday. We went there because of the respect we have for our President and because he told us so. That is why we decided to once again come here and recommence a fasting protest.
The group of employees engaged in a satyagraha this evening in their office attire, which they wore this morning. 135 employees who once held positions of research assistants, assistant managers and technical engineers commenced the hunger strike on the 1st of last month. Deputy Minister of Highways Iran Vikramaratne noted that he will address the situation as soon as possible with the intervention of the President. He requested the group of protesters to have confidence in him and that the necessary arrangements will be made in order to address their grievances.
Anti-corruption organizations allege that the committee appointed to investigate the Treasury bond scam has acquitted the men accused Central Bank Governor Arjuna Mahendran. They point out that it is evident that the committee was appointed with the intention of acquitting the accused.
This three-member committee, they have no basis in law. Investigation carried out by this three-member committee, therefore, carries no weight at all. It is merely their opinion that they have given the Prime Minister. What we have, in fact, is an absolute farce, in the sense that Arjuna Mahendran has already admitted to a wrongdoing, but the committee investigating Mr. Mahendran says he's done no wrong. That is a farce. And that is what the Prime Minister has done, made this into a joke. If the Prime Minister is serious about having an investigation, then he must call for a parliamentary select committee at the very least. There is no way that Mr. Mahendran must get away with it. He must either be sacked and sent home, or better still, he must be sacked, investigated, and then sent home.
According to this report, the main accused in the bond issue has been acquitted. In the instant this committee was named, we felt that it was appointed with the sole purpose of acquitting him. This is because it is three lawyers who are loyal to Ranil Wickremesinghe that were appointed to this committee. In fact, their job description is to secure acquittals. The question we have at present is this. The committee appointed by Ranil Wickremesinghe has asked for information from Perpetual Capital. This is like getting at the story from the rogue's mother. It is a local saying that in this country we know what transpires when this happens. This government has acquitted the accused in the biggest scam carried out in the 100 days. Now even the old rogues will think that they too can be acquitted. This is where the country is going. විමර්ශන කමිටුව අපි පිළිගත්තේ නැහැ.
We do not accept the investigation committee. We do not accept this committee's report, and in no way can we accept that Central Bank Governor Arjuna Mahendran has been acquitted in this case. Once again, we call for an independent investigation committee to be appointed. We request the President to conduct an investigation and enforce the law against the persons involved. We hope to call for a debate when this report is presented in Parliament, and if necessary, we are prepared to go as far as a no-confidence motion. The Jatika Helarume hopes to discuss this with other parties, including the SLFP, and take the necessary steps.
A committee was appointed, and that committee too comprises of several selfish persons. They say the governor is not directly responsible. He must take responsibility. If people in their positions need to take responsibility, then why do we pay the governor a wage, give him all the facilities using the taxpayers' money and seat him in that chair? It does not serve any purpose for this country, does it? If they are trying to sell such tales and deceive the people, then we are once again moving towards where Mahinda Rajapaksa was. There are people in this government who are trying to take the country back to where Percy Mahendran took it.
A special meeting was convened at Sri Lanka Cricket today regarding the statement made by the International Cricket Council that it will be taking steps to investigate political interference in the SLC administration. SLC has addressed a letter to ICC CEO David Richardson expressing surprise at the purported decisions taken suddenly at the ICC board meeting on the 16th of April. SLC also expresses shock in this letter over the ICC's purported decision to withhold monies that are due to SLC. Noting that these are financial distributions for the 2014 World T20 and the 2015 World Cup, SLC points out that there are monies which were due and payable to SLC long before the appointment of an interim committee. Furthermore, SLC noted that it has been advised that the Minister of Sports is yet to receive any communication from the ICC seeking an explanation for the reasons for the appointment of an interim committee.
Well, that's a wrap of tonight's primetime news at 9. It was an absolute pleasure having you with us. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
And I'm Shane Silva. Take care and good night.